morning, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Dance
Gamers?
No. Let's redo that one.
Gamers?
The only podcast that simultaneously can be disliked by both the anime community, the video game community, and now the YouTube poop community as well.
Don't forget the TV community, the HDR
the TV.
community.
Oh yeah, the LCD HDR community as well.
Yeah.
We're one-stop shop.
LCD HDR. What?
Your one-stop shop for destroying the things you love. Joining me, Liam Edwards, is the delightful but some teeth-shattering Matt Visual.
Yes,
hey,
yes. New set of Invisalign trays in, so I'm messed up. I'm ready to go. I wish I had some drugs. Yay!
So wait, Invisalign hurts? It's painful?
Yeah, well, yeah. For the first 3 days, when you put it in, it's squeezing your teeth in.
Yeah,
what do you think?
It like clenches them together.
It's like braces. Yeah, except you do it every 2 weeks.
But in the commercials, they make it look so easy.
No. There is pain. There is pain.
Side effects may include horrifying pain.
And that dumbfounded, uneducated voice about inline braces is George Wiedman. Mr. Wiedman, how are you?
I'm still flabbergasted that you just straight up dropped the G word.
I did.
Right there.
And why did I drop the G word? Maybe I was inspired by a said Discord message.
No, he watched gamers. Let's be real.
That's true.
You personally identified with the primary main characters and their love interests and their struggles and their concerns and their problems from the hit anime serial Gamers.
I mean, I would like to say it went that deep, but all that happened was I quoted SPH George today at 9:54 p.m. Good morning, fellow gamers.
I know, but I was doing it sardonically, and I don't know if you believe in it. If you believe in the gamer ideology, it's a very very dangerous path to go down, I hear.
Well, it's a path we're all on now. Strap yourself in, gamers.
Fuck that.
How about we talk about an anime?
Oh my god. No, let's not start there.
I have so much bad news in regards to anime for this week.
Uh-oh.
Oh. So you built a new PC.
Oh, yeah. The bad news regarding my anime watching this week is that I wanted to watch anime but never got around to watching anime. Instead, I built a new PC.
Oh.
Ah, exciting.
Wow. Amazing segue there. That was good.
Thanks. I know you've been there through a lot. You've seen a lot of segues.
Wait a minute. You built a new PC,
best and the worst.
and I wasn't involved. What's that about?
No, you were involved. You helped smuggle me some goods.
By
remember?
osmosis, Matt, you have influenced his PC intelligence.
Where did you buy your other stuff from? Don't say Newegg.
Even worse. Okay, so I guess I'll start us off by saying that long ago, about a couple months ago, I realized that I accidentally signed up for Amazon Prime.
Oh my god.
Accidentally. How do you accidentally do that?
It's even worse. I accidentally signed up for a free student trial of Amazon Prime.
Ah, the student you are.
There's no verification to the process. I was clicking through Amazon's page regarding how Prime works and whether or not I wanted to sign up, because I've always wanted to take that step anyway. And I was like, oh, free trial for students? Click here for more details. And I was getting ready to sign up a form and put in some paperwork and see what kind of ID they wanted and whatnot. I was wondering if I could wheel and deal my way into sweet talking my way into an Amazon Prime student trial. And when I clicked the button that was click here to get started, the next page was congratulations on activating your free trial of Amazon Prime.
Oh my god.
So I've ordered as much stuff from Amazon as I can, in between getting Matt Visual to smuggle me some GPUs at MSRP prices out of his store with that sweet...
Don't say things like that. Smuggle. You make it sound like I'm doing something wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong at my store. Okay.
Smuggle is
make it clear.
At all.
It was a joke.
No,
It's a prank,
hundreds
bro.
of dollars have exchanged hands to make these purchases.
Hey, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm a
No,
businessman.
no. George, you got it all wrong. You paid Matt. Matt stole them.
Whoa.
Profited.
Pocketed the money. Wow,
And if
looks like
anyone
Bill's
ever
got
asks,
paid
it's
this
just
month.
business.
Thanks,
Yeah.
George.
And if anyone ever asks, George has the goods. George has the stolen goods.
Yep. The white man, not the black man.
I just hope that like your boss isn't listening to this podcast and gets genuinely worried.
Nah.
He doesn't know Matt's an internet superstar.
There's been a couple cases of people coming up to me and saying they want a picture. And it may have gotten out of hand because I talk to everyone at my store. I'm a little.
Was that
I'm a
because you were
little
giving
social.
them free GPUs or?
Yeah. So there was
Like,
pictures
throw GPUs out into a crowd.
Yeah.
For you and you, you get a GTX 1070.
What else did you buy everything from Amazon for more expensive than I could have gotten you them?
Not everything. I just enough to wrap up the package and put everything together and complete the list.
So tell us the specs. What is it that you got in there? That's what everyone wants to know.
It's a it's
i7 8700K.
a ATX Voodoo 3
Oh my god.
accelerator card.
Oh my god.
With
that is
with
too
a
old.
Compi 486 processor inside of a giant beige square tower.
Wow, you got ripped.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, this thing plays Wing Commander at like a good 40 FPS.
Oof. Oh my god. That sounds terrible. So that
So-
monitor you got, you can't even use most of it.
It shows off the pixels in Elder Scrolls 1 Arena really, really well.
Oh my god.
So well, okay. In all seriousness, I put together a computer this weekend with like new high-end parts and stuff, and I brought the lady for it over to help.
Uh-oh.
So
That was
We-
that was bad.
we have some teamwork to do to go through to get this process together. We have to put our like relationship through a sort of trial, all right?
Right.
Because there is work to be done. If building a gaming PC is easier than people think it is, it's basically adult for IRL. It's Legos for IRL. It's Legos for adults IRL. Building a computer with a lady friend or whatever your most significant relationship in your life is like IRL Snipperclips. The two of you are having to like shout your visualizations within one another. You got to use teamwork, even though you don't. And what's beautiful about that is that they're both similar experiences to the game almost building a PC. It's about making these elaborate plans inside each other's heads while trying to visualize what the other person thinks and ultimately thinks about you. It's about the aloofness of the bonding process, and that's beautiful. Anyways,
Did you put the thermal paste before you put your processor in your socket?
yeah.
It's like a
No. I tried to do things in the proper order, but
no.
there.
It's actually that's the way you're supposed to do it. It's kind of like the glue for your motherboard
You
and your
put the
processor.
glue on
Yeah.
while the processor is still out
Yeah.
in the world, and
Yeah, you're supposed to
can
slide
get it all over your.
So I would say
like,
redo
sheets.
it. It might be working right now, but not for long. So you have to redo it and put that in. Just so you know.
Oh, because the thermal paste went in after the CPU went in the socket.
Yeah,
instead
you
of-
need to put it inside the socket. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to
Lubrication.
sandwich the paste between the CPU and the motherboard.
There you go.
Okay, so no,
Now you're
we don't
thinking
screw
with
that
portals.
step up. The step we screw up is the power supply. And these days, apparently power supplies go in the bottom of your cases, and the like buttons and headphone jacks are on the top of the cases. So this is ridiculous to me because my whole life I've been told to put a computer on top of a desk away from the floor where the dust is, where it'll accumulate and seep through the case. Also because hot air rises and you want to make sure it's got an open space above it for good ventilation. But nowadays, most gaming cases that you'll find on the Amazons and the Newegg's have the button and your headphone jacks on the top as if it's meant to be placed below. So while I'm getting this computer set up, occasionally when I'll have to like lean back behind it and work on some cables, my palm would be resting on the part of the case where the power button is. So like I'd be leaning back behind the desk, like shoving some cable in some nook, and I'd accidentally turn it off and or on depending on what's happening. When we're putting it together, though, we're having a lot of trouble dealing with the cables coming out of the power supply. She's using her like tiny baby hands to reach into these spaces of the case I can't, while I'm like using my nimble ingenuity to shine my cell phone flashlight into a mirror at a special angle across the other room, and the light is like shining on where she needs to rotate her pinky counterclockwise to hit the annoying little clip of those really fat, chunky plastic plugs that are so hard to pull in and out of a PSU. I don't know if you guys know what the plugs I'm talking about. You know when you're like shoving a cable in and out of a PSU and it just fights you every step of the way?
I'm very familiar.
Yeah, you know, Matt, don't you?
I'm very familiar, yes. I do work at a computer store.
Anyways, I'm over there.
Can you imagine if Matt was just like, I've got no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea.
No idea what you're talking about.
I just go to work and I just sit there and space
What's
out.
What's a PSU?
Yeah.
So she's sitting there with like her hands trying to plug these cables in and out of the PSU, and I'm sitting there like playing Twister at this weird angle, shining a flashlight and providing extra torque from the other end of the cable. And from like the other room away, I hear, and I'm over here and I'm like, wait, does that mean like counter downwards? And she's just like, and it's cute. It's hilarious.
I feel like this is a George thing, and if I were to been there, I would have just came in like, oh, you just do this, and then it would just work. And you'd be like, ah! You would do one of those.
That was a very convincing George scream.
Yeah.
Eventually, we finally get it working. We finally get this high-end, super expensive gaming rig that I want set up, and it's like different space away from my computer so I can have a work part of my life and a play part of my life. Anyways, eventually we get this thing set up that's going to be a different computer in a different part of my life, and guess what is the very, very first game I install to test it out with?
Crisis.
Rainbow Siege.
No and no.
Feel like he mentioned this.
Yeah, it'd be some dumbass shit that he.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Arena.
Warm.
Morrowind.
You're getting a little warm. Ooh.
Oh my
It was
god.
Morrowind, wasn't it?
Okay, so eventually we get the new computer set up. I put Steam on it right away, log in to my account, get some family share going, and install Morrowind. Because yes, I am the 0.01% whose first priority when building a new rig is seeing how pretty I can get Morrowind to look. And all of this just makes her sad. On multiple levels. On one, because on level 1, I mean, come on, George, get your shit together. On level 2, I had installed and gotten her into a version of Morrowind using the Morrowind graphics and sound overhaul 3.0, which adds this like ridiculous volumetric lighting and fog system to the game that makes God rays shine over everything with really, really complicated, gaudy water shader that makes water ripple, and there's HDR lighting and high-resolution textures and stuff going on, and it kills Morrowind's frame rate. And on her laptop, at, I want to say, a resolution of 1360 by 768, with a lot of options scaled back to medium, the Morrowind Graphics and Sound Overhaul 3.0 edition runs at about 20 FPS on her laptop. But on this new rig, on this baby, oh man, I'm telling you, that Morrowind Graphics and Sound Overhaul 3.0 edition, running at a native resolution of 1080p, hits a good old like 45 to 60 on this thing. Woo!
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 Wow. That's...
With everything maxed out, so I can now play Morrowind Graphics and Sound Overhaul 3.0 at a cinematic playable frame rate as mankind has never been able to before.
That is tasty.
Yeah. So the other thing that arrived yesterday is the monitor. I bought the monitor from Matt as well. And did you know that monitor that I got you to buy for me, that I paid you all the money to buy for me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're making it sound very legit, George. Not
Yes.
not suspicious whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give out too many details about where our jobs are.
Where our jobs are.
Our jobs
Our
are.
jobs are.
Your job is the same place where you built this PC, George.
I have an office space elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And how,
Out
are
there
you going
in
to
the
use it
city?
now? You have a PC at home?
It's a distraction-free environment. It keeps me concentrated when I need to hit down long blocks of writing and research. Anyways, all right. So I got a new Acer gaming monitor.
Ass.
A new Acer XF20HU XD Hyper Extreme Gaming Edition monitor.
Right.
And my new Acer gaming monitor has an overdrive button on the monitor's on-screen LSD display. You know that, those buttons, the OSD display, that. There's a menu in there. And underneath this menu that's called Gaming is an option that just says Overdrive and nothing else.
Yeah.
And you can
Very
set
clear.
it to 3 different things: off, normal, or extreme. And I'm picturing myself playing Mario Kart VR with Joe Tron from YouTube on my Acer Extreme Gaming monitor, and I'm just oh no, watch out, you better not make me activate my overdrive. And I still don't really know what this overdrive feature does.
So you're telling me you didn't use the overdrive mode for Morrowind?
I turned it on and off and didn't notice a difference.
It's to enable 165 hertz.
So yeah, I was trying to read about overdrive mode and I was getting really confused. I Google it and I end up on this shocking insider expose on www.bit-tech.net about this scandal of extreme gaming overdrive modes and how it's supposed to overclock your monitor and give you more hertz or something to fix some mystery ghost lag that nobody can officially confirm nor deny exists.
Yeah.
And that option is right on top of another option called Aim Point that superimposes a crosshair in the middle of your screen for games where they want you to just kind of visualize where the crosshair in the middle of the screen is supposed to be. So you can cheat. You can activate overdrive to shove more hertz into your monitor's poor little body. Or you can activate Aim Point to just straight up cheat at Red Orchestra 2 in this game where you're supposed to go through a long fancy process of aiming your gun instead of just pointing and shooting the thing you cheated with on your monitor's LSD display button screen for.
That would have worked real good for Gears 1 back in the day. Ooh. A lot of people like taped dots to the middle of their screen so they can know where like the sniper, because the sniper never moved. It shot exactly in the middle of the screen. So you can blind fire people from across the map. It was great.
If only you had an Acer Extreme gaming monitor.
Yep.
That problem of yours would be rightily solved.
Pay for that ass and get better gaming results.
So we also tried out The Sims 2 because I guess I'm the 0.001% of people who also wants to see how well The Sims 2 performs when buying a new gaming computer, and couldn't get it to work.
What else did you play, George? You're gonna go through the long list of old games. What else, did you play? The original Doom? Did you play the original Wolfenstein as well?
I played.
Did you play Ultima online?
Commander Keen and Jack Rabbit and in Pong 4, Grandpa's Day.
Oh, Oregon Trail as well. See
No,
how many
Oregon
frames
Trail.
you get in Oregon Trail? Yeah.
Oregon Trail is the like different one about smuggling medical equipment and biohazards in and out of the black organ donating market. Anyways,
What did you do, Liam?
Sorry, have you guys finished now?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, 20 minutes talking about George's computer.
I think
I'm
I
happy
think I
for
had
you,
summed
George.
up
Never-
everything.
Always
Free.
realize when someone else is talking about other stuff, but as soon as he goes on a rant, you can let him talk for 40 minutes on one single
What are you talking
subject.
about? It's only been 20.
What did you do,
I'm happy
Liam?
for you, George. It sounds like a nice thing. It sounds like you had a nice week.
Yeah.
Eh?
Wow. Wow.
So you didn't watch Boku no Hero Academia because you were too
It would have
busy
been better.
building PCs.
The week was pretty alright. It could have been better if I had watched some Boku no thingy.
Boku no thingy.
I'm waiting for it to finish before I start watching it again.
You're waiting for Boku no Academia
finish.
Heroes
Finish the
to
season.
finish?
Yeah. I hate when I have to wait. That's why I was waiting for Westworld to finish before I tackled onto that. Jumped on that horse. Give it a
But
good
Matt,
tackle.
you're like the popular co-host of a very popular media critiquing show. You gotta keep on top of everything.
Whoa, you use
Every
popular
single-
way too much in all of that. I would say niche. Niche is a
Niche.
good one.
I mean, we've covered
Doing
PC
okay.
building, Morrowind, Sims,
1 week
Boku
can
no
Yeah.
Hero
sell.
Academia,
The real
Japanese
important
animation.
stuff.
When we can sell
Westworld.
merchandise, that's when that's when we make. When we can build panels, you know.
When we can build PCs.
Well,
when
one
we
of us
have
could already
PC
build pieces.
branded sponsors where we get our own custom built PCs with our faces etched inside of them.
Listen,
Maybe we'll get sponsored by the Acer Gaming Monitor Overdrive button.
listen. If Acer
Department.
contacted us, I would be like, "Yo, guys, this podcast is sponsored by Acer's Overdrive. Get your Overdrive here."
It's all fun and games, though, until Asus starts hearing our Acer endorsements and starts, like, wanting in a piece of the action, you know? We get, like, emails every day from tons of sponsors who want to give us their money, right? But we got to make sure that we pick the right competitor of these competing industries. Do we go with Acer gaming monitors, or do we go with Asus gaming laptops?
We go for
I
the
don't-
one that gives us the best equipment.
for
So the ones that have
Yeah.
the turbo button.
the best ass for the buck.
If we ever get sponsored, I'm not reading from no freaking booklet. We're gonna.
I got some bad news for you.
Damn it! No. I want to do like the Dollar Shave Club, what we
now
did
we
on
go to-
TVG, where we talk
And
about
now we
shaving
go-
your balls. I want to do that.
Now we go to an advertising sponsor.
But it's only been 20 minutes.
It's just a pre-recorded message of Matt begrudgingly reading out Dollar Shave Club.
You're gonna hear the paper.
the groans, the sighs, and then you actually use it, and you're like, "Oh damn, this is actually pretty good." And then you conflicted about
Matt's tone of voice.
But what other topics are there? Because I set us down this little adventure thing to kind of get us just warmed up for the day. That's all. Because,
warmed up.
I mean, I've had such a busy week, but I
20
can't fill the rest of this up, you guys.
Well, the USA won the World Cup, so that's good.
Whoa, yeah. What kind of alternate history timeline do we live in? Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, we're already living in
one
one.
where all those times I've been waking up at 3 a.m. to watch the games, I've not noticed a U.S. team in any of those games.
People were cheering in the streets outside of my window.
Mm-hmm.
They were like,
No, George, you're confusing that with rioting.
ah, shit.
Ooh,
Yeah,
too
yeah,
real.
right,
Let's
'cause
bring it back.
Taking
Hang on,
the
though,
butt shots.
when you mentioned it, it's not that I was curious or anything, but I did Google USA World Cup wins, and the very first Google result isn't even a link; it's just the number 0.
Wow.
Well, to be fair, the World Cup, in complete and utter fairness, is a very hard tournament to win, and not many teams have actually won it. Only a select few of the same sort of group, like France and Germany and Spain and England, have won the World Cup. So,
All right.
But apparently Germany got jigglypuffed and smashed in this.
wait,
one.
guys, is this a road we're really gonna go down? Because otherwise, we're gonna
I
have
hear
a
about
George.
this at work all
we're
the
gonna-
time. So
We're gonna have
please.
a George-esque 20-minute Liam go about.
Wow, this is turning into a proper train wreck. We haven't had these in a while.
I love sports ball. I love hooping goals with my fellow athletics. Nothing like hitting the shower after a hot game of balls with your men.
Well, let's not talking about soccer. Where it's not like real football where
No,
you're
they call
wrestling,
that rugby, man.
with strength and muscle, actually hitting each other. People are just like tapping your leg and you're falling over. Oh my god, my leg. Oh, referee, please.
It's called IRL Rocket League in other countries, okay?
And then you see them rolled back up and like, oh yeah, I'm fine. But they got Liam, am I making you mad yet?
Matt. Matt. Matt.
Yes.
Shut up.
My ankle. No, nothing else, guys. Nothing else. Are we?
Well,
just blanked
I've
out?
been playing a JRPG.
Whoa.
How about
What
that?
JRPG
I've
is
been
it?
playing a JRPG. I've been playing Ys VIII on the Switch.
So that's how you say it. Ease.
Yes, it is. And I've been playing the Switch port that came out the other day. It came out on PC and PS4 last year, I think. It definitely came out on PS4 last year or earlier
I've
this
always called them Wise.
year. Wise.
Oh, Wise. Wise eight.
So you were playing Ys VIII.
Yeah.
It's
Why is you
I
playing
mean,
Ys VIII?
I mean, why is it the 8th one? I don't know.
Why is the 8th? Yeah.
But I
Valid question. It's grammatically correct.
All I know about this game is that it has a really beautiful collection on the PS2, I think. A collector's edition is really good looking.
What was that? That was the 6th one, wasn't it? I think.
I think.
Like, this is the thing, right? You gotta have mad respect for Ys or Ys or whatever, because this shit's been around for 30 years. Like, not many series can really say that.
And that whole time, they've like never really been a huge system-selling headliner
Even
franchise. It's the king of the hill of the JRPG world.
It's weird because it's not even really that popular in Japan, so not as far as I know. So, it's kind of just been trundling along.
The thing is that it's action combat, meaning I would probably give this a try.
So, that's the thing, right? Is I was intrigued by this entry because I'd seen was it Oath of Felghana and the sort of like combat that had, and that was meant to be really fun, and this sort of carried on with that, and it was like, real-time action combat tied in with, traditional RPG elements. And it's, from a combat standpoint, really fun. It's actually super fun. Like, there's lots of things, like you can switch between characters immediately. They all have like their own specials. You can do like combo attacks by like mashing the buttons, but then tying in that you can hold like the R shoulder button, and then you have like almost like Xenoblade Chronicles. You can then select like a skill based on the face button. So you can hold like the R button and then press A, and you'll do whatever skill is assigned to that. And then you sort of combo them together to do like combos on the ground, and then you can lift enemies up into the air. Kind of, like a more simplified Devil May Cry / typical action combat game, tied into a very traditional RPG. And when I say traditional, I mean like this is like straight up PS2 era nonsense.
Yeah,
right.
I dabbled in the series and never really got hooked because of that right there. They're like anime cliche as fuck.
Yeah, it's not like cliche in the terms of like JRPG kind of tropey. Like it's from a story standpoint quite interesting. Like it starts out, you're like on the ship and you're like traveling to a different island, and then all of a sudden you get attacked by like a kraken, and then you get marooned on this cursed island that no one's ever been on, and you're like the story of your character Adol, who's like the main character through all of the Ys games, which is also quite incredible to have the same main character who's this young anime boy all the way through from like 30 years ago to now. He's the same character.
Are they doing like a Metal Gear kind of thing where there's 30 years of increasingly complicated canon that just keeps getting more messy with every sequel?
No, it's more like he just like always goes on a boat. And I was reading through like the Reset Era thread about it. Like this dude has been like on 4 shipwrecks in like 8 games. Like this guy's cursed.
That's a 50% failure rate.
I know. He just gets
He must be really afraid to get on a boat.
That's his thing. Like, that's what he gets horny over. I don't know. Like,
wow.
That might be his kick, But he gets shipwrecked, and they tie the story into, like, the history of the island with this other character. Like, the game is called Ys VIII, the Lacrimosa of Dana. Whatever the fuck Lacrimosa means, right? But Dana is this other character who is, like, in the past. Like, I don't know too much, but I think she's, like, in the past. And, like, the island was at one point, like, a habitable island that was, like, prosperous and stuff, and then shit happened. But now, like, Adol is, like, having dreams about her past, and it's tying into his future, and she's, like, helping him from the past to get off the island with all these castaways and that kind of thing. And the story is, beyond the normal cliche
is
stuff.
A music. It's like a classical music term. It's a kind of genre.
The more you know.
Of like 300-year-old music.
So there you go, because, it's in the past, and she's meant to be like this sort of shrine maiden thing, or this whatever. I don't know, I haven't got that far. I'm only about 5 or 6 hours in.
Oh, but apparently it's a religious thing, too. Lacrimosa is a part of the Dies Irae sequence in Roman Catholic Requiem Mass.
That also ties into the fact that she's a maiden, and, you see her dancing. So the title, pretty much nails it round the head then.
They probably just think that word. They probably just think more English speakers know what that word is than we actually do.
We actually do, yeah. Unless there's like, you know, like with every episode of this show, there's like a select few people who are like, gosh damn, these guys, they don't know anything.
We don't.
I'm sorry, I had to Google what a lacrimosa is.
English?
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know. Maybe it's lacrimosa. But the game itself, like, so I've seen videos of the PS4 version. It looked pretty nice. It looked like, you know, your typical sort of budget JRPG. The island itself that you're on is really big, but it's segmented, you know, into typical, like, areas, and then you go through, like, yellow dots, and then it loads into the next area, kind of like Final Fantasy X or Star Ocean, that sort of style, and you defeat the enemies in there. So, but on the Switch, you know, it's even worse. Like, you're loading, like, quite frequently. And on top of that, the textures...
Yeah, they look pretty old.
Pretty bad. Like, they're always, like, Z-fighting on top of each other, which makes them really look kind of sketchy and muddy. You sort of get used to it after a while. The game itself has like a sort of unique style. It's just super
very
janky
clunky movement too, but
it's like,
it looks good, but it's clunky.
It's PS2 era jank. Like, the animations are super stiff. Like, characters do that weird JRPG turn where they put their arms by the side and they only move their legs and then just face each other. And
like the way she starts running and stuff, like it's just immediate. Like from 0 to 20 immediately. There's no like slow ride.
A lot of the levels I'm seeing are just kind of a dull gray tunnel.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, I'm seeing later on there's some grassy fields going on, but you still got like tunnel walls to your left and right.
Yeah, it's very like direct. Like, it's a huge island, but it's segmented into lots of smaller areas that are quite linear. They're like big open fields where there's like an entrance and an end, and then it's like a big circle with like treasure chests and lots of enemies. And, you know, as I said, typical like PS2 era JRPG stuff.
And they're like, to combat that, let's just make them run fast through all this open area.
That's another thing, is like, in terms of like, it's like Xenoblade Chronicles X, like, you could run really fast across that world, but I think you would be doing it a disservice, because Xenoblade Chronicles X's world is far better looking and far more interesting than Ys 8. But compared to how
a Wii U game,
compared to like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 though, when that's like in docked mode and then when you take it into the handheld, I would actually say Ys 8 probably runs better.
So what's the gimmick? Why are you...
The combat.
Okay.
The combat is good. The combat is very fun. You know, so far,
That's good.
I've most of like the mob enemies are so easy that you just wipe through them and your teammates wipe through them. And you just like consistently get through them. But the boss fights are really fun so far. Like, they actually require you to do thinking. Like, each character can do either a flash dodge or a flash guard, which is you can like dive out of the way of enemies and then it'll go into, you know, like almost like a Bayonetta-esque witch time where you can then hack at them in slow motion, or you can do.
So you have to like put yourself at risk to activate something cool.
That one is actually less riskier than the other one, which is Flash Guard, which is you'll guard the attack and then you can parry it really quickly and you can do more damage. But that one is like split timing. You have to actually parry the attack with a guard. Whereas the other one, you just dive out of the way at the last second. So, like, either one kind of works to your advantage. It's sometimes hard to do it when you're being mobbed by enemies of all areas. You can lock onto enemies, which is good and stuff like that. And it's actually super neat. And like when you're fighting bosses and you're like dodging all over the place and you're going into slow motion and you're using all the attacks and you're attacking its weakness with certain characters and comboing together, it flows really nicely and all works at like a really fast pace, and it feels really good, and you can do like almost like Street Fighter-esque special moves, like, you know, like typical RPG big attacks. Each character has like a super move, but it is only one at the moment, and then that'll deal like tons of damage to the enemy. But it is fun. It's so full of jank, and the music is grating. Like, if anyone's playing it, like the beach theme, like the first area that you spend like the first 5 hours in, is like this consistent, almost butt rock, like guitar in the background. It just drives me crazy after a while. But I'm intrigued to keep playing because
the combat's fun, I guess.
Yeah, the combat is fun, and in the story, like, the more you play, the more it sort of gets a little more intriguing. It starts out quite different to most JRPGs with, you know, you fighting a kraken, but then you land on the beach, and then you have to find all the people who were like on the boat with you, and then it falls into some tropey JRPG introductionary, let's build a base, go collect some wood, do this shit kind of stuff. But then once you kind of get that stuff out of the way, you know, it introduces more interesting mechanics. Like, there are areas of the map that you can't proceed past unless you get more people for your base to help you, like, physically move stuff. Like, a big boulder will be in the way, and you can't get past it until you have, like, 8 people to push it. So then you have to go look for more castaways to, you know, recruit them to your, like, camp. That's kind of intriguing. So it sort of like limits where you can explore, or you have to, you know, find your way around things. I'm enjoying it so far. It's like, it's on the Switch and it runs well enough. I haven't had any performance issues apart from just how it looks. Like, sometimes it can look pretty ugly. It's definitely on par with a PS2 game. It doesn't look like anything from this generation. The character models look fine, apart from the fact that they're all super mismatched and look like just some dude who drew fan art of like 8 of his favorite anime characters from different anime all into one JRPG. If you're into JRPGs, you probably already know about Ys VIII, and, you know, with it being one of the only JRPGs on the Switch, you're probably going to be interested in playing it. But, like, with, like, Octopath Traveler coming out next month, and, you know, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 already being on there, I'm not really
I actually started
I'm not really sure
Octopath.
if it's the best choice. It's the best choice if you don't want to do turn-based combat, because it has pretty wicked combat. But everything else, it's kind of janky.
So, any final thoughts on Ys VIII before
Ys VIII? Ys VIII so janky.
Move
No,
on?
it's
real good.
It's good. I don't want to say it's bad. I would say you know what you get. You know what you get. I think, like, if you actually were super interested in playing this game, and you had a choice between, like, the PS4 version or the Switch version, you should probably get the PS4 version. You know, apart from if you want to play, like, you know, in handheld mode, which is, like, you know, the selling point that you get to play, like, a cool RPG like this on the go. Yeah, combat's good. I'll update you if I play more of it.
So you reminded me, like, about Octopath, because I still haven't gotten a chance to play it. And then I go to Coming Soon to see if I could find it, and I see Nico Para, Volume 1 in here.
What the fuck is
Is
Nico
that
Para?
like the cat collecting thing?
No.
Wait. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what that is. That's kind of a cat collecting thing.
It's not.
It's just
not.
different.
It's a visual novel. Someone told me about this before. I'm just wondering, why the hell is it on Switch?
Oh, Neko Para. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Neko means Japanese cat.
Well, it just means cat.
Come on.
Well, I'm pretty sure the people who who know about that game will be like, huh? Why is?
So Nico,
I'm gonna be.
on
I guess
Switch?
I will be the weirdo of this podcast. that knows about that
Matt,
game.
Can you play it? Can you be the test subject?
Nope, not playing it. Not playing it. Well, supposedly it's like one of those games that are on Steam that you can patch because it was made as a one of those types of games. And it was censored through Steam, and I'm guessing that is the censored version that's on Switch. I can't find.
Wait, so how naked do the cat girls get?
I don't know. You can probably Google and find out. I'm not gonna Google it.
Nico Para Switch.
Oh my god!
No, not Switch.
No, there's a demo. Matt.
There's a demo?
Download the demo, Matt.
No, I'm straight. I don't need to get invested in these characters.
That means it's for you.
It's for you.
I don't need to get invested in these characters, and then I know that there's some like patch out there. No, I'm straight. I'm gonna stop it here.
Here's some more information about Nekopara along with the trailer. What's Nekopara? Why, it's a cat paradise.
Oh my god.
Kaisho Minaduki, the son of a long line of Japanese confectionery makers, moved out to open his own La Soleil as a patisserie. But upon moving out, hidden amongst his things were two of the cat girls, Chocolat and Vanilla, that the family had been... There. No, listen, that the family had been raising.
I don't like the sound of that.
When he tried to send them back, they begged and pleaded until he gave in. And now they open the store with him together. With two cat girls who really love their master, trying their very best and occasionally failing, a heartful comedy opens for business.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. So
see
wait,
the
Sayori
Neko Works mascots Chocolat and Vanilla like never before, moving and in full voice on screen. And now with the new emote system, the characters smoothly move on screen, changing expressions and poses in countless ways.
I can't tell if you just described a quirky feel-good comedy or like what Stockholm Syndrome must feel like from the perspective of the hostage.
Oh, man.
So, like, these cat girls just live in the shop and they find them? Are they, like... Do they just
they were
come
raising
in through
them.
the back?
They were raising them.
That's a very strange word to choose for characters that look... Like
human beings. With cat ears.
I mean, they're wearing clothes and stuff. I assume they know how to, like... have skills.
I think
with,
all
with
will be
object
revealed if you
and,
actually played it.
And install the patch.
George,
Install the patch.
Version.
Yeah, sure.
George, we found a new game for you to test.
Lady friend walks
PC.
in on you. That's it's gonna be a very interesting.
George, is this The Sims?
George, maybe it's got a turbo mode.
Rated R Sims.
Maybe the clothes will come off at turbo speed when you
Oh, yep.
Can you play it at 165 hertz?
If you Google, you can find your Nico Para patch very, very easily.
Okay, so on to the news. First, a break.
Hi, friends. I'm Tim Heidecker here with my good friend Eric Wareheim, here to tell you about an exciting new product from Cinco Technology.
That's right, Tim. It's called the Internet, and it's a fresh new way to check out sites, buy clothing, and surf music. And it's all located on this tiny CD-ROM.
You bet, Eric. You know, my favorite thing about the Internet is that it's 100% secure.
Wait a second, Tim. What about all my e-worms and my email viruses?
Well, Eric, you can kiss your e-virus problems goodbye because the entire Internet is located on this CD-ROM. You're not connected to anything, so no one can connect to you. The Internet.
The easy-to-use interactive experience located entirely on one CD-ROM. No more wires to connect. No more monthly service charges. No more spam, internet viruses, or e-worms. And the Internet is simple to install. You'll be surfing over 100 sites in seconds. Music sites, shopping sites, and internet chat. All at the touch of a button. The Internet has never been so easy.
The Internet. Well, what do you think?
Tim, I am blown away by the Internet. And you know, my favorite part is the shopping zone. Tim, you definitely need a new pair of pants.
Guilty as charged. Well, come on.
Let's click on the pant zone. Now select color. What about pleats? Parachute or non-parachute? Cuff or no cuff? Now your size. Now print your order form and then fax it over to Cinco's Internet Receiving Center. It's so fun and easy. The Internet. Hey Tim, what are you up to?
Well, I'm just chatting with one of my friends here.
But you're not connected to the web. How's this working?
Well, the internet offers me up to 5 unique avatars that I could chat with virtually any time of day.
Who are you talking to right now?
Well, this is Professor Hensley.
Do you think I could ask him a question?
Fire away.
Professor, how are you today?
He says fine. Internet.
And welcome back
Cats.
to the Dan and Sons
Dog.
Bad Google. Matt.
I like how George went to dogs. We're totally talking about something.
Why did you have to bring it up again?
Oh no, I just want you to. I wanted to remind you as you were, being serious.
Yeah, exactly. Like what happens in the break, Matt, stays in the break.
Yeah. We wouldn't be able to share that with you guys. It would just be beep.
Yeah. No one.
We did a little Googling.
No one will know what we were Googling.
Okay. Yeah.
Not
no
even
one
George. Not even George, who was pooping during
I was
the
in
Google.
the bathroom.
Who was
And I'm
pooping
coming back to
during
all
the
these inside
Googling.
jokes I don't know.
during said Googling about Nekopara in incognito mode.
I guess I'll have to find. Anyway,
Uncharted.
let's
Uncharted
move
areas.
on to stuff.
Uncharted
people know about.
territory.
Let's explore some
Uncharted-
uncharted regions together of each
Uncharted-
other here on the podcast.
Uncharted cat regions.
Oh no! No!
So,
Amy Hennig
I-
left EA.
I feel like we could start a reliable bit of like this week in cancellation of Star Wars games. Annie Hennig has
This
confirmed
week
that she
in
has left.
EA is doing shit.
Amy Hennig has confirmed that she has left EA. The visceral studio that was working on the Star Wars project called a Ragtag is totally no more. It was going to be an Uncharted-esque Star Wars, similar to how Star Wars 1313 was going to be an Uncharted-esque Star Wars that got canceled. But Eurogamer has confirmation from the Game Lab conference in Barcelona that Amy Hennig is now attempting to make an independent studio on her own, for those who don't know, Uncharted writer Amy Hennig.
So let me get this straight, right? There are so many Star Wars games in the making or have been cancelled. This game specifically...
Yeah, there's like an equal amount of the two.
This specifically was the one where they had like... They were on like Tatooine, and like they had that guy who looked like a cowboy, and it pulled him from behind his back and was like all cool CGI looking. That was that trailer at E3 like a couple of years ago, right? This was
I
that
think
game.
so. They had a bit of it in E3 2016.
Yeah, I think it was
some of it showed up in a little reel. So that timeline matches up. Yeah, that might have been the one. Star Wars games getting canceled seems like something that's happening a lot these days, and it makes me so sad because back when I was a kid in my days, in the glory days of the George youth, LucasArts was shopping that brand out to all sorts of developers. Disney gave it to EA, who has squeezed out in a hurry 2 Battlefront games and a mobile spin-off never-ending cash shop no one really seems to have much investment in, and that's it. And it feels so weird to say that we are about 4 years into the cycle of this new trilogy and haven't really felt a whole lot of good games come out of it so far. Like J.J. Abrams' Force Awakens, that was a 2014 movie, right?
No, 15. No.
15?
Wait, yeah, 15.
Wow, really?
So
2015?
we're 3 going on 4 years into the new trilogy. And I feel like I mean, I know that like good ass games can take a good 4 years to make, but I still feel like we should have seen something more than 2 Battlefronts that have less content than the old 2005 game.
Well, they did. They had games in the work. They just got cancelled. Star Wars 1313. They had Star Wars Battlefront 3. Like, they all got cancelled. And when their license changed from LucasArts to EA, like, they just got
It
canceled.
makes me so sad because they're losing so much money and brand penetration. Like cranking games out of a fictional universe like that is such a great way of expanding that universe and expanding that brand and getting it into a new generation of kids. And that's like my story with Star Wars. I played more of the games than I saw of the movies when I was a kid.
That's the thing. It's totally a fair point. Like, Star Wars games were always reliably good quality, apart from, like, the fighting game, the Kasai, whatever it was. Like, you know...
There were a few. There were quite a few stinkers.
Well, yeah, but there was so many of them that, you know, the racing games were always good, the Rogue Squadron games were great, the Jedi Academy games were great, the Knights of the Republic was great. Like, even, like, the pretty subpar ones, like the Force, what was it? Force Unleashed.
Awakens. Oh, the Force Awakens.
No, Force Awakens is the movie.
The Force runs out the door.
Was pretty great too. Like, it was the combat in the game was really fun and made you feel like someone from Star Wars and wrecking shit up. You know, it was like weak ass everywhere else, but you know, you had force powers and all that kind of stuff that you can manipulate. It was a fun game. It even got to a point that games and Star Wars are so synonymous. We had Yoda and Darth Vader in a Soul Calibur game. Can you imagine that happening now? Like, announcing the brand new Street Fighter 4 DLC or Soul Calibur 6. No. It's Finn!
That would be so good. Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah.
Oh.
Apart from the
and now I just
games,
really want to see, like, Bill and Ted in Soul Calibur 6.
I feel like Star Wars would work for Mortal Kombat, though. Oh my god, that would be sick.
Oh, like an Injustice style...
Yeah, because it would have to either be cartoony or too real. Because I think maybe Star Trek... not Star Trek. Street Fighter...
Bill and Ted have their time machine. So they can go back to the stage of history.
I want to see Finn cut someone in half in Mortal Kombat.
You want to see Finn set dismemberment to 99 in the console?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So Amy Hennig says, I would love to have a little company.
Their balls? Oh. That would be pretty good too.
Oh, wow! That would.
Yeah, dude, Mortal Kombat. That's where it worked.
Esophagus.
You could force like their balls through their whole body out through their neck, through their neck.
Amy Hennig says, I would love to have a little company of about 6 to 8 people.
Making a Star Wars Mortal Kombat game.
And do some more projects. Do some VR stuff. I'm consulting with some VR companies and doing a ton of research because I haven't played a lot to immerse myself in it. So yeah, I'm not doing anything Star Wars, and who knows what the future may hold, but that project's on the shelf. The Vancouver studio is working on something pretty different, I suppose, these days.
That's so
it's really
weird.
not, once you go more open world, it's such a different game to the one we're making. Everyone loved what we were doing, and I'd love to see us resurrect that somehow, but it's complicated.
Ignoring the last part about Star Wars, because, whatever. But does the quote, do some VR stuff, I'm consulting with some VR companies, I'm doing a ton of research because I haven't played a lot, seem like kind of a bad business?
I guess the idea is that she wants to play VR stuff and is looking for people to hire to play VR stuff.
It's like the definition of looking at what...
know.
It's like the ultimate example or definition of what, let's look at what the current trends are. This seems interesting, yet we know nothing about it. Let's try it.
And I'm sure that whatever current trend Amy Hennig, or new innovative product Amy Hennig makes will have charming, cute writing that everyone will love.
I don't know. The last thing Amy Hennig was working on got cancelled, and the last thing she was working on before that got completely rebooted because it was a mess. Uncharted 4. So, she hasn't actually really done anything for, going on 8 years. So I actually kind of just don't know what she'll do.
Okay. Is that a like nicely depressing, fatalist, kind of cynical, man, way of looking at the news story before we move on to the next?
Sure.
Come on, let's get this train running.
All right, we got another Schreier scoop. A big old scoop of Schreier is coming to Kotaku, and Schreier is claiming that Google is going to be planning a console to compete with the big three, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. Schreier says he has 5 sources who are all corroborating and saying the same thing, and that is that Google is planning a sort of hardware device that will be a streaming platform and game console. They're going to be attempting to bring more developers under the Google umbrella, which they've been investing in for the past couple years anyway, and Schreier is saying that people are now telling him that these plans are solidifying into a kind of streaming box that they do aim to compete with PlayStation and Microsoft with. Let's see, I got some quotes here to read through. At GDC in March, he noticed Google representatives were meeting with several big game companies to gauge interest in its streaming platform, which it's codenamed Yeti, sources have told him. The existence of Yeti has been confirmed by another website called The Information earlier this year. Schreier says that the streaming platform will be kind of like NVIDIA GeForce Now. They're going to be offloading the work of rendering graphics to beefy computers on their end that you're going to be playing on your own device on your end, which is like a can of worms and a double-edged sword that I'm sure we have all talked about before. One person gave Schreier a quote saying, "Imagine playing The Witcher 3 within a tab on Google Chrome." One pie in the sky.
That doesn't sound great. Google Chrome
Schreier has
already
heard
takes up
floated.
90% of my CPU. I don't want to be running The Witcher 3 in a tab on Google Chrome.
One other, they call it a pie in the sky idea, but it sounds fairly reasonable, is the idea of opening up a YouTube tab. Not necessarily a tab so much as like a picture-in-picture YouTube overlay for looking up like tips, walkthrough bits. If you get stuck in the middle of your game, you like press a button, it brings up a YouTube window where you can type in
Oh, you
how
mean
to
so you can
beat
play the
Capra
game
Demon.
in your browser and then you can Control T and then open game FAQs.
But regardless of the speculation and the vagueness of what he has heard from these 5 sources, Schreier does say, one thing is for certain, Google wants to make a splash. In January 2018, the company hired Phil Harrison, the veteran video game executive who spent long stints at... Phil Harrison? I don't know who that is. The veteran video game executive who spent long stints at Sony and Microsoft as top manager on the PlayStation and Xbox brands. Google has also been on a massive hiring spree, bringing in experienced video game developers and marketers from EA, PlayStation, and other top companies. The money is certainly there.
George
Only
has
time will
just
tell
went
if it
robot.
materializes.
George got so into Google making games, he literally phased out of existence.
It happened again?
Yeah.
Hello again.
Okay, well, I mean, I finished my, like, long rant, so maybe Skype is gonna have a better time, like, decoding this, like, reluctant back and forth, kind of, vocal fry, pregnant pausey bit. Anyways, yeah, I could imagine a Google console. I don't know. The Google Play Store is such a fucking mess on the cell phones, and I can't imagine exactly, like, that department being in charge of it. But as Schreier
Wait,
says,
the Google is
they
what?
got the
A mess
money.
on the cell phone?
Their Play Store is horrendous.
Google Play.
It's extremely difficult to find anything good because all of the bad stuff for some reason floats to the top.
Yeah, but they did
So just like the iOS store then.
they did good with the Google Pixel
Yeah.
though, which is an actual phone.
I mean, I wouldn't. You're this. What's Google Pixel? Is that a phone? I think that's the phone.
that's
they're
the
making.
phone. That's the phone.
That's a phone.
It's one of the best
There's
phones.
two of
It's
them.
good. It's a good
It's a
phone.
good phone.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty.
Google
pretty
made
good phone.
a good phone. Could you imagine Google making a
No,
good
I think
console?
if someone's gonna jump into the console market, I feel like they have to be different, drastically different than PS3 and Xbox.
Yeah.
Like they have to fit their own space. Like Switch fits its own space. That's if the Switch, if Nintendo tried to do like another Wii U thing, it would have failed.
And I think that one of the reasons why I don't think whatever console they're coming up with is going to be normal is because I don't think much of a console market in general is going to exist like 15 years from now, much less one with new competitors having broken into the scene and established themselves by then. We saw Microsoft get into gaming from non-game. Okay, I'm sure some of us are younger, but we have seen Sony break into gaming from non-gaming within our lifetimes, and that's probably the sentence that strikes the kids as real weird, because PlayStation's always been around.
Earlier than that is Microsoft, like the Xbox was...
that was later than that.
The Xbox is so not that old that when it was announced, The Rock was the guy on stage with Bill Gates.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's, in relative terms, not that old.
And it's also pretty normal for giant technology conglomerates like Sony and Microsoft. Well, I don't want to say normal. It has been established that the gaming consoles can be created, established, and sold successfully after like 1.5 generations is how long it freaking takes even for a giant electronics conglomerate to break into the game industry. So the thing that feels weird about that is the timeline. If they want to do a traditional console to compete with the Xbox and PlayStation, like Schreier speculates, I can't imagine that being a thing, because by the time they'll start making a profit on those units, selling them at a loss for the first generation like Xbox had to do.
Yeah, but Google can do that. Google
the
have
idea of consoles.
Google have
it
far
might have
more
fizzled
money.
out by then. They're also focusing on the streaming thing, which I think is going to be the gimmick they're going to attempt. They're going to try to find some way, maybe with their own Google Fiber and internet service providers, to make high-end PC gaming streaming work in maybe some kind of little black box you plug into your TV and
that
open
then
a tab of The Witcher
shit.
3 and Google.
Yeah, that stream shit.
Yeah.
It's all going to
stream
be
shit,
streaming
'cause
based.
That's
I think.
what a lot of the
Most
high
of it.
executives speculate for that 15-year window. I can't see it right now. I'm sure the idea terrifies most of us right now.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to play The Witcher 3
the future
in my
in general.
browser.
The future in general is terrifying, no matter, like, really. Probably half, if not a majority, of things are probably going to be looking terrifying if you speculate what it'll turn into 15 years in the future.
That's the thing. When you really think about it, if in 15 years' time, playing The Witcher 3 in a browser is like the most of my
way to play The
is the
Witcher
most
3.
of my worries, I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
And maybe that's how they're going to get us.
Comcast needs to fall on their sword and let Google spread their seed and their juice all over United States and get Google Fiber everywhere. Then we can just bow down and worship Google.
And have another console made by a giant evil tech conglomerate in our living rooms, plugged into
selling
our
your
TVs.
information to the Russians.
That's more a Facebook thing, but okay.
They got to make their money.
Well, guys.
No. We have to talk more about politics. Space Force.
Oh, yeah.
Space
If you're not coming
Force!
here legally, don't come here at all.
If you're coming from space,
That's what Comcast said to Google. Not what that guy said.
In reference to the video game industry, where Comcast must also be trying to make a splash. I don't know what I'm gonna do to that segment, but Liam, you sounded like you were ready to drop something.
I was ready to segue us perfectly to not have this train wreck continue.
What kind of segue? What were you gonna segue into? Why did you want to segue?
Guys, I was going to say,
Yeah? What?
well, some of the games we could potentially be streaming through our Google Chrome browser in a
15
new tab.
years from now, in the future,
In
when
15 years
projects
from now-
get completed that are being planned maybe a few years from now.
Games published by the Dad Den brand.
Dad Den
that's
Publishing
so bad.
Incorporated LLC.
Totally trademarked.
Dad Den
The
Inc.
Dads of Tomorrow today.
Dad Den.
No, man, that doesn't sound good at all, man.
Dad Dad Den totally legitimate.
Dad dentist.
Welcome to Dad Den.
Welcome to Dad Den.
This is a new game show audience participation segment in which we're going to be riffing on the classic Japanese TV show Dragon's Den, in which inventors...
Wait, you might be surprised because we did say last week we would be, doing the usual mailbag audience feedback and questions segment first, but we decided to jump right on the Dad Den hype. God, it's even fucking hard to say. Dad Den hype train right now because we got like 50 submissions.
A lot of
We
submissions.
got a lot of submissions for this.
The idea is that we are going to be critiquing, reviewing, judging, and ultimately deciding whether or not to invest our imaginary dad dollars into your Dad Den game idea.
Please make sure all future submissions are platform specific to the Google browser Chrome platform. Otherwise, we will not.
Well, it's an option.
The future is only... It's a pie in the sky, George.
Yes, the clouds to be specific. The cloud, just the one cloud, though.
Just
In
that
the sky.
one singular pie in the sky.
It's a Canadian TV show. That's interesting.
Apparently it began as a Japanese Dragon's Den.
Oh, I just know it for having Scottish people on it.
The first thing it says, "Grr, bring the sacrificial virgins." No, that's not that type of dragon show. That's what it says.
I don't know what you're looking at, but if you'd like to submit your game ideas to Dad Den, send us an email to dadandsonspodcast@gmail.com.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
Include the name of your...
The Japanese name is Mane no Tora, which is like Tigers of Money.
Oh my god. Include the name of your game, the gameplay style of your game, the central gimmick, the central mechanic, the art style, the themes, and then your projected time and money budget.
All right, what's the next game that's going to be going onto the Google's platform?
Starting us off, we have a submission from Adrian H. They say, so I'm a bit skeptical about this game idea, mainly because Nier Automata and Mankind Divided did something similar. But
so you started to pitch off already by saying you don't believe in your idea. Great start.
I'm hoping someone could execute this correctly without making it tedious and unnecessary. And that's like, they're hoping someone else will do do it better than you, Adrian H. See, Adrian H, you gotta be projecting confidence in yourself. Actually, Liam, we were talking about this. You may or may not have had to pitch game ideas at conferences before, right?
I've had meetings where I've had to pitch stuff or talk about projects that I have to get people on board with. Yeah.
Well, Adrian H would like us to know that they're willing to accept other ideas for the name of the game, as the name doesn't really make any sense, and Cyberpunk and Cyberpocalypse Now have already been taken, so those are out of the picture, which shall be COM. The name of the game is COM.
Isn't that C0M?
Yeah, it's C0M. The O in the middle is
the name
0.
of the game is Come?
Yeah, it's on Google's hypothetical Streambox platform. You can put "come" in your Google browser
Google's
in the
launch
future
title, Come.
He says
these ideas are fleshed out.
He says, "I know it's terrible, so please give me another name for the game."
Oh,
that's
Adrian.
not our job. We're just giving you the money. You gotta come up with the title. You gotta come up with this.
No.
So
well, Adrian H has multiple ideas for this "come" game.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Using certain features as parts of hardware for a character. Example, a GPU for your character can be used to render models in a certain art style and/or determine the effectiveness of your HUD. Now, the reason why I'm a bit skeptical is that just like in real life, hardware components degrade in quality. Obviously, it happens a lot slower. So you want to put some pressure on the player by making them purchase new CPUs and more RAM to upgrade your character. Oh, this is such a gamer's game, right? This is a game about a struggle that we've all been through. This is a game about living the gamer lifestyle in the cyberpocalypse of 2018. You're swapping parts out, you're putting a rig together, you're picking all the most expensive stuff that has all the most LEDs, I'm assuming. Adrian further goes on to say, I don't know how to streamline degradation so that the player isn't annoyed every time they have to upgrade. At some point, a new cryptocurrency called Dadcoin will be released, which ultimately increases the prices of GPUs.
I'm in already.
Might be a bit of a stretch CPUs. But wait, what are you customizing your Cyber Boy for?
Wait, I don't get this. Is this like an amiibo where you have to buy expensive GPU parts to customize your character in-game? He's not very clear with what this is.
What are we cyber customizing our Cyber Boy for, Cyber Adrian?
Why do we have to mine for Dadcoin to, Why are we mining for Dadcoin?
What's the struggle? What's the central conflict? What are we trying to overcome by shoving graphics cards into our orifices? Our cavities, if you will. Our cyber cavities. Okay. Theme. For the environment, Adrian is picturing something similar to Shadowrun, if any of us have ever heard of that. Yeah, Shadowrun, the 16-bit one is way better than the 2006 one. A cyberpunky, apocalyptic environment, basically Mad Max, but with computers and weird augmented arms. It'll be a first-person RPG with upgrade trees. There we go. Now we have a conflict. I assume there's going to be bad guys chasing after you, trying to kill you. Way good, unless you shove graphics cards into your mouth. It'll be a first-person RPG, yeah, with upgrade trees you have to be careful of, as upgrading might overheat your CPU, so you might have to purchase liquid coolers or more fans.
Wait a minute here. You gotta break it down to English, because this is sounding like your pitch again. English. So okay. for the next submissions for you guys, we gotta keep it down to like not long paragraphs, and some bullet points.
We like
because my brain tends to wander. So give us the clean pitch.
I'm following Adrian here. Adrian is basically pitching a first-person cyberpunk RPG in which you customize your character with a kind of PC customization theme.
Okay.
What they haven't said though is the central conflict there is if there's something like, who are the bad guys? What's combat going to work like? What are we customizing our body to overcome as the struggle?
Viruses and malware.
Adrian H says that on the way down your path of customizing your computer boy, there's going to be trees that you have to be careful of, as upgrading might overheat your CPU. You don't want to bottleneck your heatsink, so you might have to purchase liquid coolers or more fans, etc.
What is tree? What do you mean by trees?
Upgrade trees. RPG, you want to make sure you don't go down the bad path.
I thought you have to avoid trees. That's what I heard. Okay. I was like, what? Wait a minute, what? Now you lost me again.
Between the lines.
Upgrade trees, yes. Oh, so Metrovania type stuff? Yeah. Things are blocked unless you upgrade a certain ability?
Well, maybe the map will be designed in a Metroidvania way.
No. More like Deus Ex, where you have to augment Jensen. Like, that's what I think he's trying to be. Like, you're augmenting your character, your CPU boy, your GPU boy.
I think so. Yeah. Adrian H says it's a AA game. That would probably be an effective description for the game, similar to Hellblade.
Yeah.
Adrian H's budget and time description simply says should be somewhere around Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Don't think this was Human Revolution's budget, but I think at most should be around $1 million and should take about 3 years or so to complete. So, before we quash the pitch or talk about it a little bit, we should hit on the budget and time. So you said AA, and you mentioned Hellblade. Well, Deus Ex Human Revolution is definitely not a AA game.
No, Hellblade.
It's a AAA game. It's a AAA game from a big studio like, Eidos and Square Enix. And I don't know what Human Revolution's budget was, but I'm pretty sure...
It was a lot more.
It was a lot more.
There were more than 1 million.
I'm pretty sure its marketing budget was probably more than 1 million. Do you remember all that CGI and live action stuff they did for Deus Ex Human Revolution? Do you remember that? They had all those live action trailers. The one where it had the augmented angel and
Dog Lives Matter.
Yeah, do you remember that piece of artwork they did? Oh my god, that was a catastrophe. Yeah, there was a lot of money spent on the marketing for that, and for 3 years, 1 million ain't gonna. For a studio that would create Deus Ex Human Revolution, 1 million probably wouldn't cover you for a month.
All right, let's get some foundation down. Where are these developers living, and how much do they need a year?
I mean,
And
I don't know.
How many of them are there?
Guys, we neglected to mention for that $1 million as well. Our soundtrack will be made by Daft Punk.
Oh, it's gone. It's gone already.
Upgrade Adrian's
They're actually in
budget.
debt right now.
I don't think
Adrian, you're in debt.
I don't think Daft Punk does commissions for. How much do you think it costs to get Daft Punk to do the soundtrack for stuff?
They did the Tron movie.
They were probably paid.
No, they
were paid by Disney.
Doesn't you don't reach out to Daft Punk. Daft Punk reaches out to you. They heard Tron was making another movie, and they were like, "Yo, we got you," or "We got you," because they're not humans; they're like robots.
Are you calling French people robots?
Yeah.
I want to point out that $1 million divided by 2 years divided by 15 employees is the fairly small wage of $33,333 per person. So
yeah, per person, split between like someone who is a senior project manager, someone who is the studio director, someone who is the lead artist, the lead programmer, the senior
computer
networker.
programmers who live in San Francisco want more than $30,000.
Yeah. Let's just go with Adrian. I think you probably missed either 1 0 or probably more than likely 2 zeros on your 1 million.
What? I don't know. Maybe this Daft Punk idea, like maybe he does like a little pitch. He sends them a little email. Maybe he has enough to squeeze out one song from them, right? If they really like his pitch.
Maybe for 1 million, he wants to commission a Daft Punk
And
single.
he just he loops the song throughout the whole game. And it's like, oh, but it's made by like the best people, to make electronic music.
The game is a little like paper activity maze that you fill out with the pencil while you listen to the Daft Punk song, and it like makes your hand follow the beat of the music in a fun way.
Why don't we just make this into, because he didn't say like open world or anything, right? It could totally be like just point and click. We could save some money.
Maybe Adrian can get experimental with that budget.
Yeah, point and click adventure.
Work with your limits, Adrian.
Yeah. Point and click. There's a lot of art styles out there that are just, weird looking and didn't cost a lot of money.
Yoko Taro once asked why no one has made a game that's just 10 minutes long.
You could be 10 minutes long. Like, so the Daft Punk music, the sound, the track could just be the whole game. And you make the game really good around that, limited time of that track.
Customize your PPUs and overheat
really quickly.
Your SDKs in 10 minutes.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
So I don't know specifically what he was referring to with GPU and CPU. Like, are you like a half robot, half human, like an augmented human, or something?
Your half Asus gaming extreme PCs.
Like, it says it renders models. So is there like is it like the Matrix where like a computer renders your character and like you can upgrade your outsider computer controller and you can like put points into buying the best GPUs for the outside world or something?
Can you use it to play gamer pranks on your parents because they're mad at you for spending $300 on plastic stuff?
Will you still get Windows 10 updates while you're running around in the world?
Will you be forced to turn the game off so Windows 10 can update?
Wow.
So basically, the finer points are we have a cyberpunk title called Come, based on a very interesting, unique idea. it is unique. We haven't ever seen anything that is based around like computer hardware in terms of like, you know, real life things like GPUs and CPUs and people who have knowledge about that kind of thing. You know, we have Deus Ex where you do augments. It's not quite the same thing. It's interesting. I don't know how you would really implement that into like characters, or you would have to have computers that render models, which you kind of hinted at. Your theme is obviously you keep trying to talk about cyberpunk, but crossing that with an apocalyptic environment like Mad Max seems a little weird. Mad Max is kind of barren of technology. That's the whole point.
There were some like cool vignettes in Rage that merge the two.
Yeah, but it's still meant to be, you know, it's meant to be sort of caveman-esque Mad Max, you know. It's not cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is a different sort of apocalyptic thing.
Well, it could have been like, you know, high-end cyberpunk era, and then apocalypse happened, and there's like a bunch of leftover technology that people are using.
Yeah. That's true, yeah. And then, you know, the GPUs and CPUs you're buying are actually older CPUs and GPUs that you scavenge for. And now you see that's more unique and getting a bit more fun because, you know, you're not having like this super high-tech stuff. You're having like GPU and CPUs from like 2006 or something. And you have to scavenge for like the next Radeon 5550 HD from 2009 or something.
Now,
that's
I mean,
it's intriguing.
When the post-apocalypse actually happens and we all become filthy, impoverished trash scavengers, if I find like a Voodoo 2 in a pile of garbage, it's gonna do me not much good.
Yeah, no, and you know, the guy walking, the enemy boss who's like 2 Titan 10s or whatever, like... so.
You might be able to like use the metal for something, but... you still can't eat it.
It's an intriguing idea, you know. Something that ties into that is with GPUs and CPUs is how they look and how they are to recognizable. So you would have to get like company branding maybe on board, like have to get like NVIDIA and
no,
Intel
just make the graphics card green and some of them red. So that's
and then
it.
have like, you know, like Simpson-esque names like Lavidia or something.
I think the character...
It's intriguing.
The character has to have a TV head like in the comic book Saga.
Oh, I was thinking like FLCL.
Yeah, like FLCL
that works too.
Well, I was thinking.
But it's the same damn thing.
But you can render your character well or not well. Like, that would be great. Like, if you in the beginning of the game, your character looked like potato mode, Witcher 3, you know, like super potato mode. And then by the end of the game, you have this incredibly high definition characters fighting like lower enemy bosses that are all potato mode graphics too. That would be intriguing. Be something like, I don't know, I'm trying to think. There's a game where, like Titanfall 2, where like all the like world gets fucked up during that awesome time mission, and thing goes all weird, glitchy and stuff. That would be cool.
Where you have a gun that sends you back in time
yes!
when you shoot.
Yeah, that is so cool. That level, that was awesome. But guys,
yes,
are you going to invest? Let's have like a let's have a very short sentence conclusion. Whether you'll pitch and why you will or you won't. George?
I'm gonna save my dollary dues for the apocalypse instead.
Okay. Why? Give Adrian, the aspiring game designer, some real truths.
Adrian's $1 million money budget and I don't know, however long Human Revolution took to make time budget does not inspire much confidence. Since the advent of crowdfunding, there have been many countless episodes of people shocked at how much money it takes to make games, and also many opportunities for people to learn about how much money it takes games and find out how $1 million is not a reasonable amount to make games. And I feel like people going into to game development at any scale need to be aware of their limitations and work around their limitations and not do their super ambitious ideas first. Instead, do weird things first. Stuff that could play with the concept of a customizable character in a cyberpunk universe, but in a genre much less costly than first-person RPG. What?
Matt.
Well,
Do you-
I think a game needs a hook.
Matt, will you be investing, and do you have a conclusion that is shorter than a book?
Yeah, I just think the game needs a hook, and it could be cool. It could be a cool game if it's made properly, but it's all about that hook, that hype. And I think the TV Headman would work. Can you imagine? Wait a minute. A Fallout trailer, right? The boring ass Fallout trailer that they've been doing for years, right? And it swoops to the TV.
Investor meddling.
It swoops to the TV, and the TV's turning channels, and all of a sudden the TV just gets up and walks.
You were demanding that Adrian H put some tacked on multiplayer mode.
No,
something.
I'm talking about a TV man. Can you imagine the oldie music? And then the TV
and I'm sure
just
next
gets
you're
up
gonna
and
suggest
walks, and that's the character.
paying a
TV
microtransaction
man.
for the TV man.
Oh my god, I'm done. If you put the TV man, I'll give you $1 million. All right, well
Matt,
I'll spot you a 5
Just
first.
one,
I'll
just
spot you a
1
5
million,
first.
though.
Matt, is that a yes?
How much money am I giving?
Well, you gotta make the game, so we're gonna say this kind of game is gonna be at least 20 million.
Oh. I mean, I got that laying around in a savings account. Why not?
Yeah, let me just look under my bed.
All right.
Is that a yes, Matt?
Yeah. I'll do it if the TV man is in.
Adrian, you got 1 yeah. So I think the hook is there. The hook is this GPU CPU thing. Like no one's done that really before, apart from maybe Shadowrun, sort of kind of fucking around with hacking PCs and stuff. But we're in a world where last week George pitched a Cyberpunk game. We have a Cyberpunk game called Cyberpunk 2077 coming out that you'd have to compete against, which everyone's excited about. You've also got the Deus Ex series and the Shadowrun series that you literally said you were riffing off of. And your budget is like insane. So
It's not oversaturated. It's not oversaturated.
I'm going to say, I'm not
It's not battle royale. Now, if it was a battle royale game, I would have said no. I don't need another one of those things in my face.
I like CPUs and GPUs as much as the next George, but that market's full. That market's full. You can invest, Matt, but I'm not going to invest.
Well, Adrian, I got you. But I got you with like just some of the money. You're gonna have to do some Kickstarter, okay?
Also, gotta have a TV man.
You have to have a TV man.
That does mean
TV man
that
or
does
no.
mean we have. That does mean we have our first successful Dad Den publishing project off the ground.
Is it off the ground?
Congratulations, Adrian
Well
H.
done. You've got
one of us
dad.
said yes, but with like a million asterisks.
You've got one dad on board. That's better than no.
Can you imagine the
dads.
posters? Daft Punk and the TV man together. They're all wearing helmets.
Oh, so you're actually banking on the fact that you'd get Daft Punk interested. Because remember, you can't, in your own words,
Daft Punk would love a TV man. Okay.
I'm getting more the impression that Matt just wants to hijack the project, which I imagine a lot of investors end up wanting to do when they hear how cool video games are.
I was literally just about to say, not in one time does Adrian H mention a TV man. Matt made the TV man
but now
up.
it's core. It's part of the poster.
Matt made the TV man.
This is how it
to
happens.
fit this.
This is how Star Wars loot boxes happen.
Yeah, Matt's already.
This is how Mario Run
This
happens.
creative vision. This has nothing to do with charging people more. Okay.
You're just a publisher, Matt. Stop being EA.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm EA now. I'm EA. I'm making it hard for people to play and enjoy the game. They're gonna get satisfied with cum. Okay. They're gonna get satisfied with cum.
The downward spiral is complete. It starts and ends with Adrian's cum.
The market is going to be filled with cum.
With Adrian's cum, to be specific. Adrian's cum is going to be a huge blast. All right? All over all of our targets, we're going to have thousands of users consuming our new product, the com, if you will.
Well, if you
Millions.
If you enjoyed the climax of Come, and maybe you would invest, you should leave a comment and tell us. Or even better, you should submit your own game ideas. Can you
we got so
do
many
better?
to go down.
Can you do better than Come? I don't know if you can.
Oh, man.
No one can do better
Because-
than Come.
Matt's coming from Dad Dan and Matt Visual Creative Direction Productions is coming soon.
Wait, Leah, what was the name of our production studio?
It was Dad Dan Publishing and the Matt Visual Creative Production Studio.
Dad and Sons presents Dad Den LLC Incorporated. SP, copyright trademark. That was the show, everyone. I love you so
Send your
much.
pitches. Send us your pitches to
Send in more pitches. We'll never be done.
dadandsonspodcast@gmail.com. Also, don't just send us pitches. Next week we will have emails again. So ask us questions as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Preferably
Nice.
not about Come.
Be nice, kids. Enjoy playing with Adrian's cum in the future.
Don't say kids and Come at the same time, please.
Also subscribe to YouTube for